Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Kalispell, Montana. Yeah, I had to think for 1 second there. I'm still getting the hang of that. Why is that not set up? All right, my apologies for being late. My computer program that I use to do these lives decided it had to update and everything else has to be shut down while that is happening. So my apologies for being late tonight. Thank you for joining me. So this is Junebug's Creative Crush Live, and I am crushing on this silly old bear. Now, let me just tell you, I know it came out in May, and in May I thought, I'm okay. I don't need to get that. That's all right. I love Winnie the Pooh, grew up with Winnie the Pooh, all of that. I had flannel bed sheets that were Winnie the Pooh in high school. I love Winnie the Pooh. I'm good with that. Tigger's my favorite. Who's your favorite character? Is it Rabbit, Eeyore? I know lots of people like Eeyore. Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Kangaroo. Who's your favorite character? Tigger has always been one of mine. I love his song. I was watching his movie today while I was doing this. First, I was listening on Spotify to the music, getting in the mood. I found a new shirt at Walmart. It says Hundred Acre Woods Reading Club. And then it's got Pooh and Piglet over here reading, and they're over here with books as well. It is the 100th anniversary right here, 1926, of Winnie the Pooh. And that is part of the reason why we were able to bring this, or Stampin' Up! Was able to bring this to you this year. Other countries, unfortunately, not the case. And I know a lot of people are not happy about that, but Stampin' Up! Thought it was all going to work, and then in the end it turned out not to, after they had already done this work. So it is currently available only in the United States. My apologies. If you're out of country and you would like a Winnie the Pooh card, send me your email address or your snail mail address, and I will be happy to send you a Winnie the Pooh card, or Piglet, or Eeyore, or Tigger, you know, any of them. So let's go ahead and get started, because this is a favorite set for people. Today we are just going to be playing with the paper and the dies. All right, so, and the embossing folder. So this is the embossing folder. It is the 100 Acre Woods. I've seen some demonstrators have called it the 1,000 Acre Woods. I heard it called the 7 Acre Woods. It's the 100 Acre Woods, and you can see here, and you'll see it on the paper, it's really cool. It's really cool. It is a 3D, and we'll be using this tonight on one of the cards, or one of the cards I'm demonstrating. I used that. And then we have the Sweet Old Friends. So these are all the stamps. This is what we'll be working with next week, for next week, where I'll be doing some coloring, because, you know, coloring's not my greatest strength, but I'm working on it. I'll be using Stampin' Blends as well as watercolor pencils, so I can show you some different kinds of coloring. So these are the wonderful characters that we are doing, and there are the dies that coordinate with the stamps, plus some extra dies, which we'll be using tonight. I'm not 100% sure what this is. I don't know if it's supposed to be a plate for the honey to sit on. I'm not sure what this is. I haven't figured out, so I haven't used it. I saw somebody use it as the base of the little sign, because we have this little sign here that we'll be using tonight, but it didn't look right to me, so that's okay. But this does cut out all these stamped images, and I'll show you how it cuts out on the paper as well. The other one is the Sweet Words labels and dies, and I don't have all my stamps in here, but you can see you can make your own label decorations. We have the, oh bother, and somebody in the beginning said that it was a typo, and they said they forgot their R. Well, if you've been watching, if you know Winnie the Pooh, you know that there's not supposed to be an R. So I love this. The best kind of days are the days spent together. Oh bother. I will love you until forever, and even after that, you deserve a little treat. Sometimes when you go looking for happiness, happiness finds you. It never hurts to keep looking up. Old friends are the best friends. And then here are the dies, and I have used quite a few of them, not all of them, we're getting there, but lots of them, and I have nested them all together like that. So let's go ahead and I'll show you the paper and show you where those cut out. So the paper is this silly old bear, 12 by 12, and a variety of colors are used in this paper. Some of them are the new in colors. So we have the Golden Glow for Winnie the Pooh. The blue is Hydrangea Hue, and Piglet Pink is the Barely Blush. So these are great because they are cut out by these dies. You can cut every one of these out, which I did. I took one whole sheet and I cut them all out, and this was what I was using for making cards. So you can see all of these here. The sad part is we have this awesome stripe on the other side, so I need more of this paper because I want to use this stripe. I didn't want to use it before now because I wanted to be able to show you this whole page, and there's that one. All right, and then we have this one. This is the one that the dies cut out. How do I know that? Because I cut out a whole page using the dies. Now what I did have to do, I couldn't just lay it on there because it's 12 by 12 and the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is not. But I cut out every single die, even the half ones, because I thought, well, I could use them, and I'll show you one where I have it popping up. So this paper, everything on here can be cut out by the dies except for the little wishes, because he's blowing a dandelion, and so all the little wishes are through there. So this would be cute to use for a scrapbook page because then you get all of it. So those characters are all there, and I used those and cut them all out. And this is what's on the other side, which again I wanted to use, but I wanted to be able to show you this sheet. So now I'll be able to use this side of the paper. Oops, I got that upside down. Oh, and I have one piece of paper that I'm missing in here because I had to cut into the second batch. There we go. I don't have them all because I needed more of this paper in a certain direction. So there are more little vignettes here. They go, actually this is the top of it, and then it goes like this, and then there's another piece right here that I had to use for the card tonight. So it is cut, maybe, let's see, maybe it's cut like this. Yeah, it's cut right here. I don't know. Anyways, all these little vignettes, and you can use the dies to cut them out as well, or you can do straighter lines if you want. The choice is yours. I used a little bit of one of them. I can't remember now. I wanted to use this side of the paper. So, but I needed it a certain height. And then we have this one where we have Winnie the Pooh climbing up in the trees here. So I've got that in one of my cards as well. And then this is the 100 Acre Woods map as a whole sheet of paper. So it repeats itself. It's super fun. I've used that page a lot. And then this one is also kind of little scenes. And so I have used and cut out one or two of them and trying to figure out how else I could use it to complete some cards, and tried to see if I could use the dies. Some of the dies kind of work, but then it cuts into something else. So you kind of have to play with that. And then this side, this fun Barely Blush gingham type look. And then we have these characters all together where we have some Kanga and we have some rabbit as well, and owl in his chair. And I used a few of these, but not all of them, but I had to fussy cut. All right, and then this side is a fun side with the golden glow stars there, and then we have the early espresso dotted lines. So fun paper, super great to play with. Let's go ahead and start. We're going to start with one that I did. These are the new sanding blocks. They're coming out on Tuesday. They're in the pre-order right now for demonstrators, and so you can use these. And so I'll be using those. And so I'm changing up the colors a little bit. This is the card that I created. Oh, I think I forgot to, Yeah, I put him in here, but I forgot to put an inside for this card, but we'll focus, the outside is the cool side. So we'll focus on that, changing it up just a little bit. So this is one using the crumb cake two-tone paper, and then I sanded it. So let's go ahead and make this card, but we're gonna make it a little darker this time around. So we'll go ahead and fold this over, get our thing. So I already asked you who is your favorite character? I mean, and maybe you don't like Pooh. I know there are some people who they don't even like Pooh Bear, and so they're not into this sweet. And for me, it wasn't that I didn't like Pooh Bear. Let me get some scratch paper. It was just that I didn't think I needed it. Well, then my son had asked me for a wedding card this summer, and when I was working on the wedding card, I thought, oh, you know what? If he's asking for wedding cards, eventually he's going to ask for baby cards. And what better theme than Winnie the Pooh for baby cards? Even though the sentiments don't say that, there are plenty of other sentiments that do. So I thought, oh, I should just go ahead and get this set because Winnie the Pooh is timeless, right? Wouldn't you agree? You can just, if you do agree, go ahead and put timeless in the comments. If you think that Winnie the Pooh is just one of those timeless characters that you can use for anybody. And so, you know, whether it's babies, whether it's old friends, I've got some ideas and some plans for some of these cards to send to some of my old friends because it's perfect for them. So what I did is I cut out of the Mossy Meadow, Old Olives, Golden Glow, and Cherry Cobbler, I cut out some leaves, but I wanted them to kind of look a little bit, you know, more fall-like. And then I also did the post and the 2 signs, and so I'm just going to make them look a little dingier, I guess we'll call it that, a little worn. So we're going to do that, and then like that. There we go. And then we'll turn this around and we'll do it on each side. And I'm just using crumb cake on crumb cake to just kind of make it look a little darker, but not so dark. Just a little bit more worn. There we go. And then what I did is I kind of did it on the leaves too, just to give them a little bit extra, not all over it, just more on the edges. There we go. So, are you ready for fall? It's starting to feel like fall here. We even have some trees that are starting to change color already. Of course, we have some trees that started changing color at the beginning of the summer. So, if we get some cold nights, the trees get tricked and they start thinking, oh, I'm supposed to start changing. It's kind of weird. But then we got some really hot days. So there we go. We made those look a little bit older. Now what we'll do is we'll scuff up, move those over. We're going to scuff up using our sandpaper block. We're just going to scuff up this. So because the 2-tone paper is white core, you can see the white core as we scuff up our paper. All right, so I just wanted to make sure it kind of outlines it a little bit for you. You can turn it and use whatever side that you want. I'm not doing it super hard because I'm not trying to tear up the paper completely. I'm just trying to bring out some of the white to kind of define it a little bit more. All right, so we'll do that over here. This is a technique I used to use in my scrapbooking a lot, and I just forgot about it. You know how techniques come and go. So there we go. So that just kind of scuffs it up, makes it kind of stand out a little bit. I'll set that aside. And then we will do some stamping. I'm using the early espresso for stamping because I do like having a darker sentiment. So I think for this one, I have here, "You deserve a little treat," and then I was going to put "Happy Birthday" on the inside. So I think, oh, ha, I forgot to finish cutting these out. You know what? We'll put a character on here. We'll pick one of these. We'll pick one of these to use on here instead. So that's totally fine. So I'm going to use the old friends, make the best friends. There we go. Old friends make the best friends. And I'm going to do it a little bit to the right. So we're going to change this card up just a little bit because I hardly ever make the same card twice. I always seem to change it up. It just seems to be one of those things when I'm making another card. I tend to change it up. Let's see, is it gonna go? It's been sitting here for a bit with the lid on, but sitting here for a bit. So there we go. Let's get the blockage out. There we go. All right. So when was the last time you watched a Winnie the Pooh movie? I can honestly say today for me, but I couldn't have said that before. I would have had to say when my son was young. Before today. Yeah, before today. I'd have had to say when my son was young. So we'll just go ahead and do this. Put that on the front of our card. Here we go. So our layer is cut at the 4 by 5 1/4. Our card is cut 5 1/2. Whoop. 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So it's just your basic card. We're going to go ahead and put this on dimensionals. Here we go. So do you like fussy cutting better, or do you like using the whole pattern? Like on that one where I fussy cut some of the characters out, would you have just used this whole pattern, or would you fussy cut out some of those characters? And same with this one. Would you kind of fussy cut out some of these little things, or would you just use the whole sheet of paper? I am going to do a scrapbook page. I did Winnie the Pooh was the theme of my son's first birthday. And I did a whole scrapbook section. Of course, it was the what do I want to say? It was the Disney Winnie the Pooh, not this original look. We had a Pooh room, which was the bathroom, and it was all themed Winnie the Pooh. And so that was his first birthday present, because, you know, like he would know. He wouldn't care what it was. He was 1 year old. So we did the bathroom, all Winnie the Pooh. And when we moved into, we were renting at the time, and when we moved into our house, then I actually painted that room the Winnie the Pooh colors, the red, the yellow, and then the blue. It was super fun. He loved it. And then he had what was it? He had Winnie the Pooh in a boat or something. I can't remember now, for a shower curtain. I got that idea, a Pooh room, from a young high school girl who told me when I went to her house with a friend. She said, "Oh, the Pooh," I asked to go to the restroom, and she said, "Oh, the Pooh room's down the hall to the right." I thought, oh my gosh, she's in high school and she's calling it the Pooh room. Well, I walked in and it was the Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day themed bathroom. And I thought, oh my gosh, when I have a kid, I am totally doing that. And I did. So I did. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put Pooh Bear here and Piglet, because they're together, and I could use more than one of the other characters, but I don't have as much room. So we're just going to use the Pooh and Piglet together. Where's my minis? Minis. Where are they? Ah, here they are. All right. Oh, these are ones from a kit, and the kit ones are thicker. I think I've shown you before, the kit ones are thicker than the regular ones, so you want to be very careful about using those. Let me grab some from over here. There we go. The kit dimensionals are thicker than the regular dimensionals, so be careful about mixing them because they could make your items a little bit wonky. Oh, see, that was why I wanted them. All right, so hopefully I won't need another mini. There we go, that's good enough. So yeah, so I had a poo room. We had a poo room for many, many years. Well, until we left Tucson, actually, and he was in, guitar was in 5th grade, I think. Or 4th grade, 5th grade. Here we go. There, they're going walking. And then we have old friends are the best friends. And then I want my falling leaves. So we're going to go ahead and do some leaves. We'll just start that up here. And then we'll do this one. No, drop it right there. There's 2 different sizes. There's a larger leaf and a smaller leaf. And I love this golden glow. I thought for sure that I was going to be the die-hard hydrangea hue fan, and it turns out that I am really into the golden glow and the peaceful pine. I pretty much surprised myself. There we go. We'll put that up there. Let's see. So let's see, it's kind of blowing this way, looks like. I didn't really pay attention. Normally I lay the leaves out first before I actually glue them down to make sure I like it, but apparently I did not this time around. So they're just kind of really random. All right, so they're kind of blowing down and around like that. So 2 different cards, similar style. All right, which one do you like? Do you like the pecan pie one or the crumb cake one? But I love how that sanding block can make that embossing folder really pop and show up even better. Super fun. Love that. All right, so yeah, I had started cutting these out and apparently I forgot. And I like how I like this added. I wish I had put it on here. I think it really adds to it. So I'm not sure which one of these I like better. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. All right, let's go ahead and do the next card. Again, I'm changing up the colors and changing things around. So this is a card I've been seeing all over the place. So I thought, well, I'm going to do this fun fold because it's perfect for this. You can see here this little bee trinket. I thought it was perfect with Winnie the Pooh and the honey. I still have some of those left over, so that's super fun. And I used the happy birthday and the banner from the banner sayings, the happy birthday right here, and then I used this banner for this one. So because there's a limited amount of sentiments on this, and they're all having to do more Winnie the Pooh-ish, if you need a different sentiment, feel free to use your other stamps. It works. So you can see here I die cut this, then I added 2 layers, then it flips up like this. All right, and then in here, this paper is actually from the Ordinary Beautiful Life because it was honeycomb. I thought it was perfect. And then I have Piglet over here looking up at Pooh climbing the honey tree. It never hurts to look up. and then another flap, and we have You Deserve a Little Treat. And we have Winnie the Pooh with his wonderful honey pots from this little piece. And so I just rounded this off and used this part here instead of having this wasted because some of it came off the paper. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how easy this card is to make. I was so surprised at how easy it was, but we all like easy, right? That's what we want. So we have this. We're going to take our card. It is cut 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to score it because we're going to be cutting to the score line. So I need a score line to cut to. Then we're going to cut it at 1 1/4, and I like to use it over here. So we're going to cut it at 1 1/4, starting at the score line. All right. Then I'm going to turn it this way because I find that easier. I'm going to go again to 1 1/4 over here on this side. We're going to start here at this score line and cut down. And that way we have our 3 flaps. So we have 1 1/4, 1 1/4, and that leaves us with 1 3/4 in the center. All right, so then we're going to fold this over like this. And do that. All right, so now what I've decided to do is we're putting these on the front and this one here. All right. So let's go ahead and glue these down so you can see how this goes. So we're going to glue this down on here, centered, like that. There we go. And then I'm going to glue this one down. And you can see here's part of the vignette, but I needed it longer, so I had to cut into that paper. So I've ordered more paper. It is not on sale as in the paper sale that's going on right now. So we have the paper sale that's going on right now. All select DSP cardstock and two-tone cardstock are 15% off until the end of the month. So today is the 27th, so you have about 4.5 more days before it is no longer on sale. And so, but this paper, because it's an online exclusive, is not part of that sale. I don't think there are any other online exclusives, but this has been such a popular paper. It has gone in and out of stock since it came out in May. All right, so then we have these two that will be lifting with this on it. And then we have these two we're going to lay down. Oh, and I forgot to cut. Hold on, let me just grab a piece of paper. Right now, the Very Vanilla is out of stock, and this has Very Vanilla on it, unless you're using the white and pink. Everything else is Very Vanilla. So I went to get Very Vanilla because this is what we're using for Card Club next month. And oops, I don't have enough and they are out. So we'll have to see whether it comes in on time. Otherwise, I will have to use all the scraps that I have or come up with cards that don't require the Very Vanilla. Because I don't have enough for everybody. So yeah, I'm kind of bummed about that. I hadn't thought of that. And it went out of stock. I don't know if it was in the sale. It might have been in the sale, and that's why. Not sure. All right, so we have that, and then we need this piece. And this is 1 3/4, so we need to trim, because I'm only doing a slight border on here. we need to trim this first to 5 3/8, and then trim this down to 1 5/8. And then we'll glue this on the center like that. All right, here we go. Open that all up. We'll glue it. It has a bigger gap between the sides just because of those other pieces, but I figured that's okay. I love the wiggle room. There we go. All right, so we have this like this. So this is actually going crossways. You can see with this one, I have 2 layers because it was going this way and it fits. This piece would not fit over here, so I just did this one. So we're going to glue this one down. Look at those wonderful stripes. Oh, I can't wait to use them when I get my paper because I ordered more paper. We had that sale last week of the 2 times rewards, so I ordered the paper for Card Club for September, and I ordered myself an extra pack as well. All right, so we're going to put this here like that. I know I can go almost all the way to the edge. It really just fits here. It almost doesn't, but I decided to go ahead and go with it. So I was trying to decide if I want it higher or lower, but I think I want it smack dab in the middle. And I know that I can't go past this part. So I'm going to place my fingers here, and I'm going to put my glue. You can use your Stampin' Seal, and I know it's about the same over here on this side. You can use your Stampin' Seal if you want. I just, you know me, I'm a green glue girl. So then we're going to lay this down like this right here. Want to make sure it's straight, centered, and we're going to press down. All right, then we're going to carefully lift up. Whew, I didn't get any glue anywhere, so we're good to go. So this is how that's going to open. It's going to open just like that. How cute, right? I love this one too, but I wanted to show you that you could use either the portrait one or the landscape one. Vertical or horizontal, whichever verbiage you want to use. I wanted to show you it could work both ways. Okay, so Pooh and Piglet climbing a fence in the snow. That looks very cold. Here's Piglet running around, and then some hind ends of some people, of some characters. So you can, if you wanted, you could use one of these smaller ones in here. But I think I'm going to just stick with some characters. Let's see, what did I do on this one? I did a sentiment on this one, but I decided to kind of leave this, and I thought I'd use the sentiment in here. So this, I don't know, I really like that. I hate to cover it up, although we do have some hind ends. Maybe we should actually put the whole person, the whole character in there. So we could use one of these and put him here, kind of hiding that, although the tail's sticking way up there, isn't it? We already have a lot of Piglet. We have some Pooh. Oh, let's see. We have an owl. Or we could do him right there like that. Oh, I like that. We could use him there. Just want to make sure I only put glue where I need it. I guess his tail could get glued down. All right, so we'll put him right here like that. We're going to do the old friends one on the inside again. We could have him sticking off like that. I think that would work. We'll just add some friends over the hind ends. Oops, I may have put too much glue on that one. Did I? Yes, I did. So I'll just wipe that off, and when it dries, I'll use my eraser. All right. Oops. Goodness. Let's see. Okay. And then we have Kanga here. Do we have Kanga? We do have Kanga. Oh, that one's cut off. Here we go. Oh, see, now she's too big. We could put her over here looking at Rabbit. Or we could just put Rabbit over here. I like that. Rabbit over there. We could use Owl up here. So let's do that. See, we have the clouds on the back. It's like, oh, I don't want to use all those. All right, let's get Rabbit. Oh, somebody called him Bunny. So how particular are you? Just say vary a little bit when people use the wrong names of characters, or like 1,000 Acre Woods. Sometimes I just like get hung up on those things, right? I just do. All right. Trying to figure out what could we do to cover her. Tigger, Eeyore, Rabbit. We want Kanga, but she can't go there because she'll be covering him. But we could put Kanga over here. We'll put Kanga over there. I wish we could change the directions. Now, you know you can with the stamps, and I may have to do that for next week as to show you that technique of flip-flopping the stamped characters around. But once they're printed like this, of course, you can't. What could we put here? Oh, you know what? We could put some honey pots to cover it. We don't have Little Roo, otherwise I would totally do that, but we could put some honey pots there. Let's see, do we have any other colors of honey pots? These got all messed up. Yes, we have some blue honey pots. So we'll use a blue honey pot. There. There. So that kind of gets rid of the hind ends, I guess is what I was trying to do. All right, so we have that. Let's go ahead and do the old friends are the best friends. Oh, wrong one. It hurts looking at. Oh. Ooh, and that just fits there. Old friends are the best friends. And I know exactly who is going to get this card. We have been friends for a very, very long time, since childhood. Oh, there were two of them. I'm like, wait, how come that's not sticking down? All right, there we go. Oh, well, that's okay. It gives you a clue. And there's honey. You can always use honey. All right, so we can do something on the front, or we can leave it. I don't need happy birthday. So what else could we do? Consider yourself hugged. I'm so grateful. You're the sweetest. Here's to you, wishing you good things. I'm here for you. Thanks a million. Sending my love. I think we're going to go with sending my love. Ooh, I don't get to talk to her very much. So that's why I thought, you know what? I think this is going to be the perfect card for her. We're going to go ahead and use that. We're going to stamp it. Need a block. Need a block. Here we go. Sending my love. I like this font. These fonts, these banner sayings, because they're nice and small. I'm going to do this one this way. Sending my love. There we go. I'm going to take this and edge it to kind of frame it in, because it's getting lost on here, and this way it gives it a little bit of frame. This is the crumb cake, so it all works. There we go. All right, much better. And I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals since this one is not popped up on dimensionals. I had popped this green layer, the Mossy Meadow layer, up on dimensionals. So I did the Happy Birthday flat. Let's just go ahead and do 3 of those. And we're just going to put that right there. Like that, and there is that card. So 2 different ways to do this card. You can do it crossways. Personally, I think I do like this better than the crossway. Just saying. I like this one, but I do like the up and down better, the vertical better than the horizontal ones. But you have to try it to see what you like, right? So we have these 2. And then we have these 2. So on this one, tell me if you like the darker or lighter one. Let's zoom out a little bit. Tell me if you like the darker or lighter one. And on this one, tell me if you like the vertical or horizontal, or you can say landscape, portrait. Which way do you like these 2 cards? All right, here is an option for you to vote and see. So dark or light, portrait or landscape, or you can say vertical or horizontal, whichever words you prefer to use. I'm curious as to which ones you like better of those. And now I have some other cards that I have worked on to show you as well. We're just not making them all. So this was one of the first cards that I make, and I love it because it shows off the DSP. So this was one of those vignettes, and then that die cut, old friends are the best friends, is probably one of my favorite sayings. And it opens up, and then it opens up here. And I love that I was able to catch Pooh Bear in that one. So it's the 100 Acre Woods, and then just those trees there. All right. And this is using the Early Espresso and the Golden Glow. And I did use white here because I forgot that this was very vanilla, but I think it still looks fine. All right. And then I kind of went through all the different characters, a few of the different characters. So I did a little piglet. And so then I used that kind of gingham check paper in the Barely Blush. I did that in the Barely Blush. This is, I found 4 ribbons looked really good with this paper. So it is the Golden Glow, the Hydrangea Hue, and the Barely Blush. And then this is coming out September 1st. This is the Mossy Meadow Gingham. Check the gingham out. I love it. So I used it on this paper because this was in the Mossy Meadow, and I thought, and then his little body is in the Mossy Meadow. All right. So then open it up. And you get those 2. This is the one where I was showing you. I die cut it out of here, but then I got his nose over here. So it doesn't work perfectly. And then I did the best kinds of days are the days spent together. And then I used this again, and you can see here I used the back of the vignette paper. All right, so there's that one. And then I did one with Eeyore. And so I wanted the back of that vignette paper again. I really like that Hydrangea Hue. And I used the card base, and this is just a bookend one. So I didn't want to put the paper, I usually use the ribbon all the way here, but I didn't want to block out the Eeyore's gloomy place since this card was about Eeyore. And then I fussy cut these 2 characters out, and then this one is with the die cut. And then I put old friends are the best friends. You're finding that that's probably my favorite stamp set in here. I thought for him to use the oh bother, but I don't think he said oh bother. And then the last one that I did was Tigger because I had to do Tigger, right? He's my favorite. So again, I cut out these 2 Tiggers, and then this one is the one that is cut with the DSP. And then I used the embossing folder on the Timid Tiger. I stamped on the Timid Tiger with the early espresso, and then I cut a second one of these and cut it in half lengthwise and stretched it out so that I could have that border around there because it really needed it. And then I used the paper with the 100 Acre Woods on it like that. And then on the inside I just did a quick one that I didn't bother coloring. I just left him like that. It works, it serves its purpose. All right, so there you have it. All the cards that I have so far made with this wonderful, wonderful DSP dies and embossing folder. And so then next week we will use more of the paper, of course, but instead of just die cutting all the characters that are out of the paper, we're going to do some coloring with it as well. So I can't wait to play with that. I can't wait to show you. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. One last question. Would you use this in a scrapbook or would you keep this strictly for cards? What do you think? Card or scrapbook? So thanks for watching. I appreciate it for joining me. And tomorrow I'll be back with the paper pumpkin. It will be our week, I think it's week 2. I think I just opened it last week. And so this week we'll have some alternates. Throw in at least one fun fold in there for you, and I'll see you here tomorrow at 3:33 p.m. Mountain Time. Have a great rest of your Thursday night. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. Bye-bye.